Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Adam. Today we have the new Genesis G70 and we're in beautiful downtown near the warehouses by the train tracks. Look at the view behind me, and today is madness. We have dirt bikes doing wheelies. We have a music video shoot. There are police everywhere. I can't hear a thing, so we're gonna jump in the car, get on the street so I can tell you everything about the new entry-level competitor to BMW, Mercedes, and Audi. Let's get right in. The first thing I did as soon as I got into G70 is I entered the highway. We're going to a cool destination in downtown, and I noticed the engine immediately is spry, it's quick, it's impressive, just coming out of little turns, even out of a stoplight. The car just wants to move. It feels light on its feet. So far, I love that. This one comes with the 2.0, 250 horsepower, 260 torque. It is a turbo, and it starts at $35,000. That puts it right up against the BMW 3 Series, the Mercedes C-Class, and the Audi A4. Tough class to go against, and Genesis is a newer brand, so let's see how it's gonna do. The small engine, the 2.0 turbo, but let's see on the highway. And they do feed a little bit of the exhaust noise through the speakers. Again, I hate that, but there is an option to turn that off in this car. Now, a good place to start with this car is to talk about what it actually is. Now, if you go back 10 years ago when Hyundai was making the Elantra for $17,000, and this was the bare bottom of the entry-level sedan market. They were high-quality cars, they would last forever, but no luxury in it whatsoever. Like I said, entry-level. Kia and Hyundai were both here. Now, fast forward 10, 15 years later, that $17,000 car is pushed to the side. The Genesis is here as its own brand, and the G90, the top of the line Genesis, starts at $72,000. You're pretty close to 7 Series and S-Class money at that point. Now you'll notice in the background, I'm in a very industrial part of downtown Los Angeles. Downtown LA has quite a few personalities. There's, where all the businesses are, and then there's your fashion district, you've got your art district, you've got, a row of restaurants, and then you've got this, where I am. We're near the train tracks. This is almost totally abandoned. You'll have a bunch of warehouses, and a lot of cool kind of underground stuff happens here. It's a very cool art scene. I'm glad I get to kind of show you some of it because I don't come down here very often. Now, the interior is a major part of this car, and I'll get to the exterior and some of the shortcomings of it in a minute. The interior is where the real competition is going to lie against BMW, Audi, and Mercedes. My first impression when I sit down, one, it's immediately a nice place to be. The car feels roomy. The trim that this one has is very nice. This tan, it's a little bit of a more mature trim to get, but I like it. It works well with this graphite touches up here on the dash. The screen is a little bit small. I think they will improve on this because I think it's the smallest screen of the bunch in this class. The climate control, wonderful. They've done a great job with it by making it simple. That's the key to having good climate control. Make it easy. Make it as easy as possible. It comes very close to my favorite climate control I've experienced yet. That was in the Audi TT RS I reviewed. The interior especially looks nice, a little bit more at a distance, because all of these, what looks like brushed aluminum is actually pretty much all plastic. I don't like that, but at a distance, like I said, it looks great, especially with this trim color combo. And for a new car, I already can see that the infotainment is kind of slow. It's a little bit laggy. It's It's not good when you just release the car. Over time, they all degrade, they all become this way, but it's just not off to a great start. The gauge cluster, it's a little bit dated. It still reminds me somewhat of the older, Hyundais and even the Kias when they tried to do a little bit of a sporty gauge cluster. In the center, there is a little bit of an infotainment screen. It changes colors and it changes the graphic as you go through the various driving modes. I can see the attempt at luxury in the interior, and you can just tell right away that they're missing a little bit of it. I mean, like, for example, this fake brushed aluminum thing down here with the blue lights on the shifter, it just screams Hyundai to me. It does not scream Mercedes. It doesn't scream BMW. This is just telling me, our roots are making cars that were supposed to mimic nice cars, not making nice cars. But again, give them time, they'll improve this. When you go into sport mode, that is when the seats tighten up. The bolsters on the side actually move and they tighten up. There's not a ton of room in the back, but that is not only for this car, that's this class. This class is kind of a subcompact, pretty small cars that you're not really putting people back there very often, or you're putting children back there. Definitely, I'm glad that they make other options. The G90, the G80, you won't have this problem. I want to talk about the design. Now, the first thing you pick up before we get to the actual aesthetics of the car, up front, when you see a Genesis coming down the road and they have that giant square gloss black piece that looks so odd, these are the models that have the lane keep assist. That's the sensor that's required for it. If they don't have it, that means they don't have lane keep assist. Now, what can you say about the design of this car? Genesis has almost left us very little to talk about. They've gone a very safe route. I understand why they chose this direction. They're a new brand. They don't want to be outrageous and kind of edgy and risky because you immediately lose half your audience. They went safe. They went the route that nobody will call this car ugly, but at the same time, the disappointing thing is nobody is going to stand and tell you, wow, that car is stunning. That car is beautiful. That car has a brand presence. That car, it's okay. It's a good design. It's nice, very predictable. Again, like I said, I understand why they did it. They're still figuring the brand out. And with the upper level models, the new SUV, and we have the G90, these are starting to have, that split headlight, split taillight. They're starting to have their kind of groove and their design. I think they're falling into it. So we'll see where the G70 ends up. This is by far the safest design that they have. And we do have to give them a pass in the sense of they're a new company. Now, I know you might say, no, it's a Hyundai. At the end of the day, they're not new. Just because they rebranded it, they took away the Hyundai badges, it's still a Hyundai underneath. Okay, yes, Hyundai has been around. They've sort of perfected that kind of car, the economy car. This is new in the sense of the Genesis was their first entry into a new market, into saying we're going to try and take a piece away from the companies that have been having the entire pie this whole time. We want a share of that pie, and it's a tough market to enter. I'm telling you, if you're entering something that people have been doing forever and have perfected, Genesis came in and said, look, we're not going to be very bold. We're not going to be, loud and in your face. We're going to offer you a great car with the reliability and the comfort that you've already seen in Hyundais in the past, but we're going to step it up a notch. We're going to give you something. And what they decided to do was give you something classy. I love that they're not trying to be something that they are not. They're genuine. They're giving you a great car. And I think this car, I would classify it as the Victoria Beckham of that class, right? It's just a little bit edgy, the interior, but when you look around, when you touch the materials, it's perfect. It's done really nicely, and it's only going to improve over time, hopefully like Victoria Beckham. And as I said, the car is spry. I mean, you come off, red lights, and you're just gone. The car wants to move. It's really quick for this type of car, and to know that there is a V6 twin turbo that's 365 horsepower, that's an amazing car to get. I would love to test one of those. All of them are rear-wheel drive with an all-wheel drive option, so they drive a little bit more fun than some of the front-wheel drive competitors. I've been driving this thing all day in downtown LA, and I think I'm ready to give you my opinion whether I think that you should buy this car or not. Here's the thing, I don't think you should buy this car yet. I do believe they're onto something. Genesis is figuring itself out, and I think they're off to a great start. But they've entered a very competitive field with the cars that they're up against. The C-Class, the A4, and the 3 Series all have had such a head start on this. But to assume that this is Genesis' kind of first attempt, or this is kind of the next generation of it, but this is their first model into this. I think once they figure themselves out, they're gonna be solid competition for these really well-known brands that have dominated this field forever. So my final conclusion, don't buy this car, wait a little bit longer, see what they're coming up with next, but definitely do not discard this. Do not put it aside and say, this is not the car for me. I think just wait. I would almost bet in the next 10 years, they're gonna be right up there, because mainly their advantage, the reliability that none of the other guys offer. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I had a blast driving through downtown, showing you a little bit of the area, showing you the G70. Now, if you could do me one favor, scroll down, hit the like button. That truly helps with the YouTube algorithm. That gets my video closer when people search for the G70 for reviews. That's how I'm gonna grow the page, and it's a simple thing to do. Help me out, do it. You've come this far supporting me and chasing my dream. This is just another step to help me get cool cars like this to show you guys. Thank you, and I will see you in the next car.